Entering your data into your account on our website is very quick and easy, especially if you've recorded your data on one of our scorecards while you played. If you've watched our short video on recording data, you will know that our scorecards are available on the home page under How It Works. Additionally, we have a very sharp free app also available via a link to the Apple Store on our home page. I highly recommend the app while you play. It is easy, takes seconds on each hole, and when your round is finished, so is your data entry work. I never thought that I would use it, but I love it. Entering your data will also be much easier if you've already added the course. Again, there is a short add course video, but for the purposes of this, I'll assume that you've already entered the course, and now let's enter the round. To do so, from your golfer homepage, under My Rounds, select Enter New Round. The first section covers the basic information. Select the date and the course from your list of courses, as well as green speed, tournament, and format. I'm selecting my home course, Stanwich Blue Tees. Finally, enter your total score. Note, if you are entering your equitable stroke control adjusted score, also enter the score for each hole the same way. Our system will accommodate either gross or adjusted gross scoring. Just be consistent and match your score by hole to your total score. Now let's look at the front nine. Since I've chosen a course that was entered, all the pars across the top row are already set correctly. If you haven't entered a course, you can change the pars as you go, but I highly recommend that you set up the course first. The first row of data is the driving. The default is that you hit all the fairways. If so, you have no work to do on this line. When you miss a fairway, simply click on the fairway icon and slide over, pick the relative severity of your missed fairway. The next section is the approach shot. The first layer is the distance of the approach shot, which is laid out in 25-yard increments or 25-yard ranges. The default is 150 to 174 range. We chose this default because we know that at every handicap level, if one is playing the appropriate tees for their game, this distance range will be the most frequently used. To change the distance, simply click on the drop-down box and go to the appropriate 25-yard band. Incidentally, these 25-yard ranges are exactly the same as those used in the PGA Tour analysis. Next, the position of your approach shot. The system is intelligent and will prompt you with an appropriate position based on the result of your tee shot. However, you should check it and change it if necessary. Just click on the drop-down box and you can change it fairway, rough, sand. The none option for the approach shot is one of those cases where you did not have an approach shot. I'll give you an example. Let's say you drove the ball into a no-shot position from which you had to punch back out into the fairway, and you were able to hit it far enough that you got into a greenside sand trap, in which case there would be no approach shot. So you would click none, and the system will know. Finally, if the result of your approach shot was a penalty, let us know. Next, it's greens and regulation. The default is that you missed the green because we know that most amateurs hit very few greens in regulation. When you hit one, simply click on the X, slide over, and I like to go across this line and indicate all the greens I hit before I move on to the short game and putting. Now the short game. The default for the short game is that you did not have a short game shot. When you do, simply indicate that you had a shot and whether or not you hit the green successfully or missed the green. That's an error. If a miss of the green is in the fringe and you can putt it, or you are going to putt it, you should not consider this a miss. But at the same time, you should consider the next shot a putt and record the distance. Chipping and pitching and sand are handled in the same way. You either are successful or you miss the green and it's an error. Finally, we move down to putting and score. On the first hole, you put in the number of putts, the distance. The system will prompt the logical score based upon your entries so far. Bear in mind, it's intelligent, but it's not clairvoyant, so you need to check that each of these scores are correct. One more point, pickups. We all have them. Record whatever happened on the hole up to the point at which you picked up, and then select the pickup button. The system will enter 0 putts because once you picked up, you're not putting out. Don't worry. The system will analyze everything that happened on the hole prior to your pickup properly. Finally, we have included help buttons for each piece of the data entry. If you need them, click on them and specific instructions will come up for that piece of the data entry. When you have finished with the front 9, proceed to the back 9 and enter your back 9 data. When that is finished, save the round. If you have made a mistake in your data entry, the system will warn you. These warnings will indicate the type of mistake and the hole or holes affected. Simply return to those holes, correct the data, and resave your round. Play well and have fun.